What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Revavroom in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a moveset you don't see here and you think's pretty good, let me know about it in the comment section. And if this has helped you out, if you like these videos, drop a like on the video and let's get into it. So Revavroom is a pretty interesting Pokemon and it's got quite a unique typing with the Steel and Poison type. So it has the ability Filter, which is pretty nice too, and it also has Overcoat. So not exactly what you call overpowered abilities, but not absolutely terrible either. So with its stats, it's got a nice attack set of 119. Reasonable speed, reasonable defensive bulk there, and reasonable health. So interesting Pokemon to say the least. Now, the thing about this Pokemon is it can run a couple of sets, but that's about it. It is quite barren too on its move pool, and Steel and Poison typing really isn't the greatest in the world. So the first set I've got here is going to be a Shift Gears physical sweeping set. So this one is going to be 120 base power Gunk Shot as its main primary stat there. We've got Iron Head, which is really nice there. After a Shift Gear, it's very, very speedy, so it can flinch the opponent and do some nice damage there too. Obviously, we've got Shift Gear, so we're boosting up its speed 2 stages and its attack 1, which is going to make it very, very fast and hit very, very hard. And we've got Bulldoze too. Now, it's very unfortunate this doesn't actually get Earthquake, so Bulldoze is really its only way of hitting opposing Poison, Steel, Fire, etc. like that. So it's just a very, very big shame that it doesn't get that, because Bulldoze, it's only got 60 base power, so it is very, very lackluster. So most of the time, you're going to need at least 2 Shift Gears up for it to do any sort of good damage there. Now, another idea we got on here, so we got Terra Flying as the Terra type, so that's going to get it around all those pesky ground type moves. I've got Citrus Berry on here, so I could get my little bit of health back there after I've used Shift Gear, and that way I'm not on sort of a low amount of health when I use this Pokemon for like priority moves. Speaking of priority moves, it doesn't have any at all, which kind of sucks, but then again, there's not too many good priority, Steel and Poison moves outside of like Bullet Punch and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's going to be the build here. Now, the EV spread we got is Max Attack and Max Speed, Adamant Nature. Of course, we're running Max Attack here with Adamant because we got Shift Gear already. So, after one Shift Gear, nothing is going to be outspeeding. It's like super, super fast, which is really cool. And yeah, I've given it Filter, but you could give it Overcoat as well. Both of these work very, very nicely. I'd say Overcoat's definitely the most handy in doubles, but in singles you can make use of Filter as well. This actually, with Filter, your Pokemon actually receives 3/4 damage from super effective attacks, so that's actually pretty good. So you can allow you to get a Shift Gear up maybe against a Fire type or something like that. Not a ground type though, you're probably not going to deliver ground type. Unless there's a very, very weak ground type move and it's coming from like a support Pokemon, you're not probably going to be living that one. So yeah, there's your Shift Gear set. The next sort of set here we got is going to be a doubles Trick Room set or a singles Trick Room. This Pokemon has a signature move called Spin Out, which is quite a powerful move, and it is more powerful than Iron Head. Now, the reason why I didn't use this move on the first set was because after you use Spin Out, it actually drops your speed by 2, which is, yeah, it's very, very unfortunate, but you can take advantage of that by using Trick Room. So that'll be very, very handy under the Trick Room. You can keep dropping your speed over and over again. So just going to adjust the EVs here. So if you're going to run Trick Room, you'd be running Brave Nature, and you want like 0 IVs and speed there. You probably don't have to have 0, but it's always nice at the start there. But after your initial spin out, not many things are going to be outspeeding you in the Trick Room. So yeah, I've got Parting Shot here, which is really quite nice move to have too. Some good momentum, and drop the special attack and the special attack and attack of the opponent, which is quite nice. We got Gunk Shot there as main stab, and we've got Protect too. I've got Overcoat as the ability, so that's great. So powder moves like Spore and stuff like that. And we also got Clear Amulet. Clear Amulet is just going to be handy against any of those stat drops there. So that would be my double set. Now, if you do want to run this in singles, you can too, or even in doubles. You can actually run this, and you don't have to run it in Trick Room either. You could just adjust this around a little bit. So I'd probably go like probably like Adamant, because that's It's a fair bit of base power there on that move. So we've got Adamant, and once you get your spin out drop, you can just go for parting shot and get out and then come back in, and you don't have to use spin out again. You could use gunk shot. So that's an option too there to use. And as for item, well, you could just adjust it to anything you like, really. It's a couple of items that could work on it too. I'd suggest something like Lumberry wouldn't be all that bad either on the shift gear sound, not now that I'm like just thinking about it. So that's an option you could use. It. Clear Amulet would work too, you know. That'd be kind of bad if an Intimidate Pokemon kept coming in over and over again. So yeah, that's probably the set you're going to see the most there if you do see Revavroom being used. And we've got Double Star Trick Room too, you know, the spin out set there and parting shot sort of combination. So yeah, its physical moveset is very barren, so I will go over that one at the end and show you what it is. But yeah, that's that. So next one we got here, this is a little bit more gimmicky, but I just wanted to mention it anyway. We've got like a bulky Toxic Spike setup set. So we've got Magnet Rise, which is actually a really cool move for Revavroom to have, because that actually gets around its 4 times weakness to ground, and it can set that up rather nicely. So this is built like really bulky. So we've got max health and max attack out of nature. So we've got Magnet Rise there, which is nice. It has that 5 turns of ground immunity. We've got Haze, which is good too. So getting rid of any Pokemon that want to try and set up on you. We've got Toxic Spikes there. And if, you know, all else fails, or you want to get some big damage there, you can go for a Self-Destruct normal gem. And that will do a lot of damage there. With if you really want to get some damage, you can go Terra type normal as well and really hit hard. You know, 200 base power is absolutely no joke whatsoever. I've given this one Filter. Once again, you can go Overcoat or Filters, up to you. Next one we got here is the Spin and Boom set. This is sort of similar to the Shift Gear set in a way, but this is actually going to be Choice Band. So this can function somewhat as a Choice Band Pokemon. It's got a lot of attack, so it's going to hit really hard. I've got Iron Head here, which is great for flinching, and with the Choice Band, it's going to be hitting very hard. You could opt for Adamant or Jolly Nature here. If you're really worried about speed, you can go Jolly, and it's still going to be hitting nice and hard. I've got Gunk Shot, I've got Self-Destruct on there too, and I've also got Parting Shot, so you can take advantage of Parting Shot and a choice item rather nicely there too. So you can always go Parting Shot and then swap it back in afterwards on your after Pokemon, or something faints and you can swap it in. So that could be quite nice there for sure. I've given that one Overcoat as the ability, and yeah, I'd probably keep it an Overcoat for that one. Like, most people are going to use Overcoat if they are using Revavroom. It's not, I wouldn't call this a very sort of popular Pokemon. I don't think many people will use Revavroom. I think it's cool. It's just that its typing is kind of bad. Like, it's just how it is, you know? So the next set we got here, we're going to be having a look at a special set. So Revavroom actually gets very, very few special moves, but I'm going to be going over some of the ones that it gets here, because we like to use the fun meme moveset. So this is definitely a meme set. So first item I've given is Air Balloon, which is great for its ground weakness there. And we've got Filter as the ability. Now, it actually gets Overheat, which is quite funny. So we've got I guess an engine can overheat. Makes sense. We've got Overheat and Steel Beam. And it actually gets Venoshock too, which is really cool. So you could couple this with a Pokemon that has Toxic Spikes and like a probably not Glimora, but it's difficult because like maybe another Pokemon that isn't like a poison type, and then you can go for like double base power Venoshock. So yeah, we got Shift Gear here to boost its speed, and you don't really use its attack, but it's quite nice for speed. I've built this one bulky, so we got max health and max special attack, Modest Nature. And it needs Modest Nature, trust me, because with, 54 base attack, it's hitting like a wet paper bag. But with Venoshock, double base power, it is going to be hitting like a lot harder. So that's a special option there if you really, really want to surprise your opponent. And we've got Terra Poison as well to further sort of add to Venoshock's base power. Now, let's have a look here at some more options. Like I said, it is very limited. So let's go over that right now. So we've got like... actually, matter of fact, we could go with like a full-on flinching set here. I see a little bit of potential. So we've got Iron Head as a nice flinching move. We've got Zen Headbutt as a nice flinching move. This is more gimmicky, by the way. And we've got Headbutt. So we've got Headbutt here. Now, if we whacked on Shift Gear, we could make this into a pure flinching Pokemon. So I go Adamant because you've got Shift Gear there. So that's cool. I'd keep Overcoat on there. And what you could go... Actually, we're going to go Terra Normal. That's perfect. So Terra Normal which is going to be kind of nice there. So we've got Shift Gear, and that's going to be boosting its attack and speed. And we've got Headbutt with 30% chance of flinch. We've got 20% chance of flinch there, and Iron Head with 30. So you can go Terra Normal, and then you'll be a normal type, right? Now, that'll probably draw out any fighting type Pokemon. So against them, you can go for Zen Headbutt. So that'll be kind of nice there. So that'll be quite a good trolling Pokemon. I'm not saying it's like a super overpowered set, but it could be a bit of fun there, and you might cause the opponent a little bit upset. Now, as for item, what item could we give it? I could even give it like Galaxy Brain Choppleberry. You know, that could definitely be like an option there against any fighting type Pokemon. That could I could see that one working. You could also give it Air Balloon too, so it could have a chance of setting up, I guess, or Shuka Berry. That could be another option for it too. Or you could give it even Lumberry, or probably not Life Orb. You could give it Shell Bell. Yeah, that's fire. All right, we could go Shell Bell. So, you know, get all the flinches in the world there. And while we're getting those flinches, we're constantly healing ourselves up with the 1/8 for damage that we're dealing with our attacking moves here. Oh, here, it's a true PIMPNITE special, people. Give it a go there. You know you want to. So, yeah, a bit of a fun Revavroom set there. But yes, that's about all the sets I come up with there that could possibly work and a bit of fun. I do want to show you like its other moves and stuff like that. Oh, I wish Mega Sableye and Megas were back in the game. That'd be really cool. So yeah, we got Revavroom here. Let's bring up that attack stat. So yeah, we've gone over most of these moves here for sure. Body Slam and Facade aren't really that useful, to be honest, unless you're going into like a normal Terra. As said, I wish it got Earthquake. That'd be such a good move for it to get, because that would really enable it to hit poison types and steel types with a hard hitting presence. And after a Shift Gear, it's going to be lots of damage too, you know, and fire type Pokemon and stuff like that. So that'd be really, really good. I wish it got that. That really is unfortunate it doesn't get that. It does have some other options like Garaball that would work well on a real slow, speedy set. We'll talk about Trick Room and things like that. It does have Heavy Slam as well, which isn't really amazing on it, and we've gone over Self-Destruct already. So yeah, there's not too many other things you can look at there. As for its special, well, it is what it is here. So it gets mostly poison type moves that are weak. So that's why I went with like a Venoshock set on my special poison set. And it had Overheat, which is pretty funny too. And yeah, it's Steel Beam and Flash Cannon. So very, very limited options there. As for its status moves, we've got Haze. Does get Iron Defense too, but it can't really do too much. It's not like it's got Body Press to back it up. We've gone over Parting Shot. That's not a bad move on there. Shift Gear, obviously bread and butter for the sweeping set. It has Sub as well, so you could try a Sub and Shift Gear set with Gunk Shot and Iron Head. That could work too. You'd struggle against Steel types, so maybe once the Steel types are out the way, you could try and use that. We've gone over Toxic Spikes already, and yeah, that's about it. It does get Poison Gas, so if you really want to use that in doubles, you could go Poison Gas as the option too. And that's pretty much it. Like, for final thoughts on this Pokemon, its typing isn't the greatest in the world for sure, and its physical is kind of barren too, you know, and it sucks that it doesn't get Earthquake. If it got Earthquake, it'll be like a lot better for sure. Like having to rely on like a weak ground type move like Bulldoze, you're probably even better off going Terra Ground, like, to be honest. Like, you could do this. I'd change it up and go Terra Blast Ground. That's another option too. That way you wouldn't be 4 times weak to ground, and you could actually hit for a lot more powerful sort of attacks there. So that's another sort of option you could go about using on this Pokemon. But yes, I don't think a lot of people will use Revavroom. I think it's an interesting Pokemon, but to counter it, it's not too hard. Any sort of ground type Pokemon is going to get around it. And it's mostly going to be running the same thing. It's just going to be a Shift Gear set, or it's going to be like a defensive set. One of those sort of two things there. Or you could see it in Trick Room using its Spin Out and Move. But that's about it. Any sort of Steel type Pokemon are going to be counters for it. Like Corviknight is probably the biggest counter, I'd say, to get around, Revavroom there. I'm trying to think. Any, like a Pokemon like, probably Psychozar would be good for this Pokemon. That could give it a sub. So Psychozar and Shedtail, Orthworm. That'd be another good one. Like, Orthworm would be really quite good, except for its fire weakness. But apart from that, that could work. Give it a Shed Tail and pass along. But yeah, that's about it. Any levitating Pokemon, like maybe Hydreigon if you're running in doubles, or any flying types would couple well too. But that's about it for Revavroom, sadly. I wish there was a little bit more for me to do on it, but I feel like I've put my best foot forward there and given you the best sort of competitive sets and some other fun sets to think about there as well. This flinching set will be nasty. Use that on someone. All right, people. I've got a little bit of a stream later on, battle stream, and then I'll have one more guide tonight later on too. So we're almost at the end of the Gen 9 Pokemon. I think we've got like a couple more days left. So we're sort of up to the last couple of these not very used Pokemon, I think. All right, people. That's about it. Peace out.